Have you ever felt the urge to explain yourself to someone who refuses to understand you? You keep trying to make them see your truth, but no matter how clearly you speak, they twist your words, question your intentions, and drain your energy. Why does this happen? Because not everyone in your life is meant to understand you. Some are only there to test you, distract you, or pull you down. Let me tell you, something true power is not in explaining yourself. True power is in silence. Because when you stop explaining, you stop giving them control. And if you stay with me till the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to reclaim your power and never fall into their trap again. The truth is, not everyone who listens to you wants to understand you. Some people only listen so they can argue, so they can manipulate, so they can break you. These are the people who pretend to be interested, but deep down they have already decided who you are. No matter what you say, they will twist your words. No matter how much proof you provide, they will deny it. No matter how much you care, they will make you feel like you're the problem. That's why you must stop explaining yourself. Because the moment you do, you take away their power. The moment you stop justifying your actions, you force them to sit with their own insecurities. The moment you choose silence, you stop feeding their ego. Psychologists call this the validation trap. It's when you desperately seek understanding from people who will never give it to you. And the more you explain, the deeper you fall into their trap. They will act confused just to keep you talking. They will pretend they don't get it just to frustrate you. And the more frustrated you get, the weaker you become. Because now you're playing their game. But here's the secret: strong people don't play that game. Strong people don't beg to be understood. They don't waste time explaining themselves to those who don't want to listen. They speak once, and if someone doesn't get it, they move on. They know that real understanding doesn't come from words, it comes from action, from results, from living your truth without seeking permission. So here's what you need to do. Stop explaining. Stop arguing. Stop seeking validation. The next time someone questions you, smile and walk away. The next time someone twists your words, let them. Because people will believe what they want to believe. Your job is not to convince them. Your job is to live in such a way that their words don't matter. And here's what will happen when you do this first. They will be confused. They're used to seeing you defend yourself. They're used to controlling the conversation. But when you stop explaining, they lose control. When you refuse to argue, they have nothing to fight against. And that silence will haunt them more than any words ever could. So choose silence. Choose power. Choose to walk away from the battles that are not meant for you. And as you do, you will start to notice something. You will feel lighter, stronger, free. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, you stop carrying the weight of their opinions. And that is the moment you take back your power. Now that you understand the power of silence, let's go even deeper. In the next section, we'll expose the real reason why certain people can't stand to see you grow. Stay with me, because this next truth will change the way you see the people around you forever. Some people don't argue with you because they don't understand. They argue because they don't want to understand. They don't challenge you because they seek truth. They challenge you because they seek control. And the worst part, they disguise themselves as friends, family, or even supporters. But if you look closer, you'll see the truth. They are not confused. They are committed to misunderstanding you. There are people in this world who feed on drama. They thrive on negativity. They enjoy watching you struggle. And when they see you rising, when they see you walking away from their toxic games, they panic. Because they no longer have power over you. They can't manipulate you like they used to. That's when their true nature is revealed. That's when you see the demon inside them. Now understand this. The demons in people are not always loud. Sometimes they come in the form of a smile, a fake compliment, a question that sounds innocent, but is meant to plant doubt in your mind. They don't attack you directly. They poison you slowly. They weaken your confidence with subtle remarks. They make you question your own reality. And before you know it, you're explaining yourself again, defending yourself, begging to be seen the way you truly are. That's how they win. Not by proving you wrong, but by making you feel like you need their approval, by making you feel like you owe them an explanation. But the truth is, you don't owe them anything. Not your words, not your time, not your energy. So how do you recognize these people before they trap you? Pay attention to how they react to your success. When something good happens in your life, do they celebrate with you or do they go silent? Do they suddenly bring up your past mistakes? Do they make you feel guilty for your growth? That's not love. That's envy disguised as concern. Watch how they respond when you set boundaries. A person who respects you will respect your limits. But a person who is only there for control will get angry when you say no. They will make you feel selfish for protecting your peace. They will accuse you of changing, of being ungrateful, of thinking you're better than them. But what they're really saying is, I can't manipulate you anymore. And here's the most dangerous part. Sometimes these people don't even know they are being used. Sometimes the demons in them are their own pain, their own insecurities, their own failures. They project their darkness onto you because they don't know how to deal with it themselves. But that doesn't mean you have to carry their burden. That doesn't mean you have to keep explaining yourself to people who refuse to heal. Your peace is worth more than their approval. Your future is worth more than their comfort. And your energy is too valuable to be wasted on people who will never see you for who you truly are. So stop explaining, stop justifying, stop looking for understanding in people who don't want to understand you. The moment you recognize who they are, walk away. Not because you hate them, not because you wish them harm, but because you refuse to let their demons become yours. Because the moment you remove toxic people from your life, something powerful happens. Your mind gets clearer. Your confidence gets stronger. Your energy starts flowing toward the things that truly matter. And that's when you realize you never needed their approval in the first place. The mistake most people make is believing that if they just explain themselves better, they will finally be understood. But some people don't deserve an explanation. Not because you're arrogant, not because you don't care, but because they have already made up their minds about you. You can explain your intentions, and they will still assume the worst. You can tell your truth, and they will twist it into a lie. You can open your heart, and they will use it against you because they were never listening to understand. They were listening to find something to attack, something to control, something to use as a weapon against you. And every time you explain yourself, you're giving them ammunition. You're handing them the power to manipulate you. They know that as long as they keep questioning you, you'll keep trying to prove yourself. As long as they keep doubting you, you'll keep justifying your actions. And the more you justify, the more control they have. But let's get something clear. People who truly respect you don't need long explanations. People who truly care about you don't require proof of your worth. When someone genuinely supports you, they don't demand that you defend yourself. They trust you. They believe in you. And if they don't understand something, they ask with the intention of learning, not tearing you down. But toxic people, they don't ask to learn. They ask to challenge you. They ask to make you second-guess yourself. They ask to keep you in a cycle of over-explaining, over-apologizing, and over-proving your value. And here's what you need to realize. Your value doesn't decrease just because someone refuses to see it. Your worth is not based on whether or not they approve of you. And your life should not be spent convincing people who have no intention of understanding you. When you stop explaining yourself, something incredible happens. You stop feeling drained. You stop feeling anxious. You stop feeling like you have to prove yourself every single day. Instead, you move with confidence. You speak with authority. You trust in your own decisions without seeking permission. That's when people start to notice a change in you. Some will respect it, others will hate it. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, they lose control over you. They can no longer manipulate you with guilt. They can no longer keep you trapped in a cycle of justification, and that terrifies them. So expect resistance. Expect accusations. Expect people to say you've changed, that you've become cold, that you don't care anymore. But understand this, they are only upset because they can no longer control you, because you are no longer playing their game, because they can no longer use your explanations to keep you weak. And that is your power, your silence, your refusal to justify yourself to people who don't deserve it. That is what separates the strong from the weak, free from the trapped, the unstoppable from the control. So from this moment forward, stop explaining yourself to those who are not listening. Stop defending yourself to those who do not respect you. Stop proving yourself to those who will never be satisfied. Live your truth, walk your path, and let your actions speak louder than any words ever could. There comes a point in life when words are no longer necessary, when the best response is no response at all. Not because you have nothing to say, but because saying anything would be a waste of your energy. Because no matter how much you explain, no matter how much truth you speak, some people are committed to misunderstanding you. That's when silence becomes your greatest weapon. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to sit with their own thoughts, their own insecurities, their own demons. When you refuse to argue, when you refuse to explain, you take away their ability to manipulate you. Because people who thrive on control need your reaction. They need your frustration. They need you to engage so they can twist your words, feed their ego, and keep you trapped in their toxic cycle. But when you go silent, they lose their grip. They start to panic. They don't know how to handle the fact that you're no longer playing their game. That's when they will push harder. They will provoke you. They will try to pull you back in. They will accuse you of being distant, arrogant, or uncaring. But understand this, they are not looking for clarity. They are looking for control. They want to keep you explaining, keep you apologizing, keep you justifying yourself. Because as long as you do that, you are still operating on their terms. Silence breaks that cycle. It shifts the power dynamic. It forces people to confront themselves instead of distracting themselves with your words. And that is something most people can't handle. Think about it. When you argue, when you explain, when you try to prove yourself, you are investing energy into people who have already made up their minds about you. You are giving them a place in your thoughts, your emotions, your life. But when you choose silence, you reclaim that energy. You stop feeding into their drama. You stop participating in their chaos. And that is when you truly set yourself free. But silence isn't just about withholding words, it's about redirecting your energy. It's about focusing on what truly matters instead of wasting time on people who don't. When you stop explaining yourself, you begin to use that energy for growth, for success, for becoming the person you are meant to be. And suddenly, the opinions of others become irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, people will think what they want to think. They will believe what they want to believe. And that has nothing to do with you. The only thing that matters is how you choose to respond. Will you continue to explain yourself to those who refuse to listen? Or will you take back your power and let your silence speak for itself? When you embrace silence, you send a clear message. I don't need your approval. I don't need your validation. I know who I am, and I refuse to waste my energy proving it to people who will never see it. That is real strength. That is true power. And once you master it, no one can take it away from you. One of the hardest things to do is walk away without feeling guilty. To leave behind people who once had a place in your life. To distance yourself from those who drain your energy, even if they are family, friends, or people you once cared about. But here's what you need to understand. Walking away isn't selfish. It's survival. It's self-respect. It's choosing peace over chaos, growth over stagnation, and self-worth over toxic relationships. Guilt is the weapon they use to keep you trapped. They will say you've changed, that you've become cold, distant, or ungrateful, that you think you're better than them. But what they really mean is, I can no longer manipulate you. They want you to feel bad for protecting yourself. They want you to believe that choosing peace makes you the bad person. But the truth is, the moment you stop feeding their toxicity, they will try to make you doubt yourself. This is where most people struggle. They know they need to leave, but they hesitate. They second-guess themselves. They keep going back, explaining, apologizing, trying to fix what cannot be fixed. But you cannot fix people who refuse to heal. You cannot save people who don't want to be saved. And you cannot stay in places that drain you just because you're afraid of how others will perceive you. Walking away isn't about abandoning people, it's about prioritizing your well-being. It's about recognizing when a relationship, a situation, or a connection is no longer serving you. It's about understanding that not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people are only meant to be part of your story for a chapter, not the whole book. So stop explaining yourself. Stop apologizing for choosing yourself. Stop feeling guilty for refusing to stay in spaces that suffocate you. Because the people who truly care about you will never guilt trip you for protecting your peace. They will never punish you for growing. They will never make you feel bad for wanting more out of life. But toxic people, They will try to pull you back in. They will test you. They will remind you of the past. They will play the victim. They will do everything in their power to keep you from walking away. Because they know that once you leave, once you stop explaining, once you stop feeding into their games, they lose control. And that is what they fear the most. So walk away boldly, without guilt, without explanation, without hesitation. Because when you do, something powerful happens. You make space for better opportunities, better relationships, better energy, and most importantly, a better version of yourself. And in that moment, you will realize something life-changing. You never needed their approval to begin with. The moment you stop seeking approval, stop explaining yourself, and stop trying to change people who refuse to change, you unlock a level of peace that most never experience. This is the power of detachment, not in the sense of being emotionless, but in the sense of being untouchable by manipulation, guilt, or the opinions of others. Detachment is strength. It means you no longer need validation to feel worthy. You no longer crave understanding from those committed to misunderstanding you. You no longer beg for respect from people who only offer disrespect. It is a shift from needing external approval to finding everything you need within yourself. And when you master detachment, something incredible happens. The same people who once tested you, who once tried to manipulate you, who once thrived on your emotional reaction, suddenly they lose their power. They realize their words no longer shake you. Their games no longer work. Their attempts to pull you back into chaos fail because you have become unshakable. But this is where most people hesitate. They think detachment means they have to stop caring, that they have to be cold, distant, or unfeeling. That's not what detachment is. True detachment is caring without attachment to outcome. It's loving people without losing yourself. It's giving without expecting. It's walking away when necessary, not because you don't care, but because you refuse to be controlled. And this is the part most people don't understand. You can love someone and still let them go. You can care about someone and still refuse to let their chaos consume you. You can be kind without being a doormat. You can be understanding without being manipulated. Detachment does not mean isolation. It means prioritizing your energy. It means choosing where to invest your emotions, your time, your peace. It means understanding that some battles are not worth fighting, some people are not worth chasing, and some situations are not worth explaining. When you embrace detachment, you free yourself from the weight of needing to prove anything to anyone. You stop explaining yourself to people who only listen to respond, not to understand. You stop holding on to relationships that drain you instead of nourish you. You stop justifying your choices to people who will never walk your path. And that's when you realize the only approval you ever needed was your own. The only validation that truly matters is the one that comes from within. And the only person you need to convince of your worth is you. So let go. Let go of the need to explain, the need to prove, the need to hold on to what is already fading. Walk with confidence. Move in silence. Protect your peace. Because once you master detachment, you become unstoppable, unshaken, untouchable. And that is the kind of power that no one can take away from you. Not everyone who comes into your life has good intentions. Some people are drawn to your light not because they admire it, but because they want to dim it. They see your kindness as a weakness, your patience as something to exploit, your willingness to explain yourself as an opportunity to manipulate you. That is why you must protect your energy. Because if you don't, someone else will drain it. They will twist your words. They will test your limits. They will push you to justify yourself over and over again, not because they care about understanding you, but because they want to keep you under their control. But here's the truth. You do not owe anyone unlimited access to your mind, your emotions, or your peace. Just because someone asks for an explanation does not mean you are required to give one. Just because someone demands your time does not mean you have to surrender it. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. There are people in this world who thrive on making others feel small. They want you to doubt yourself. They want you to feel guilty for setting boundaries. They want you to keep explaining yourself so they can keep moving the goalposts, making you chase their approval like a never-ending game. But you were not put on this earth to be someone's emotional puppet. You were not meant to waste your energy proving your worth to people who refuse to see it. The moment you stop explaining yourself to manipulators, they will reveal their true colors. They will get angry. They will accuse you of being distant, rude, or ungrateful. They will try to make you feel like the villain for choosing yourself. And that is how you know you made the right decision. Because people who genuinely care about you do not need endless explanations. They respect your choices. They honor your boundaries. They understand that your energy is valuable. So how do you protect your energy? You learn to say no without guilt. You stop over-explaining your decisions. You recognize manipulation when you see it and refuse to engage. You trust your instincts when someone's words don't match their actions. And most importantly, you walk away from anyone who drains your spirit instead of uplifting it. The moment you start protecting your energy, everything changes. Your mind becomes clearer. Your confidence grows. Your peace expands. And suddenly, the people who once had power over you no longer do. Because they only had control when you kept giving them explanations, when you kept justifying yourself, when you kept playing their game. But now, you are no longer available for manipulation. You are no longer explaining yourself to people who don't deserve access to your thoughts. You are no longer wasting your energy on those who never intended to understand you. And that is true freedom. The kind of freedom that comes from knowing your worth, setting your boundaries, and refusing to let anyone disturb your peace. Because the moment you take control of your energy, you take control of your life. And that is something no manipulator can ever take from you. There is power in silence. There is wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to walk away. Some battles are not worth fighting. Some conversations are designed to drain you, not enlighten you. And sometimes the best response is no response at all. Silence is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is a strategy. Because when you stop explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds, you take back your power. You refuse to feed their negativity. You refuse to engage in their chaos. And most importantly, you refuse to be controlled. Some people don't want resolution. They want reaction. They want you to be emotional. They want you defending yourself. They want you to prove something to them so they can twist your words, manipulate the conversation, and pull you back into their cycle of control. But when you go silent, they lose that power. They get frustrated. They get angry. They try harder to provoke you because silence forces them to deal with themselves. It forces them to sit with their own insecurities, their own toxic patterns, their own manipulations. And this is where your strength is tested. Can you resist the urge to respond? Can you sit in silence while they try to push your buttons? Can you stay focused on your peace while they try to drag you back into drama? Silence is not about running away, it's about choosing your battles. It's about knowing that not every opinion deserves a reply. Not every argument deserves your energy. Not every attack requires a defense. When you master the power of silence, you stop wasting your time on people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Because the truth is, some people do not want to understand you. They just want to argue. They just want to control the narrative. They just want to keep you engaged so they can keep manipulating you. But you are not here to waste your words on deaf ears. You are not here to explain yourself to people who refuse to listen. You are not here to prove your worth to those who will never see it. So be silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because some things don't need to be said. Let your success speak for itself. Let your actions tell the story. Let your growth be the answer to every doubt, every insult, every attempt to drag you back into negativity. Because when you choose silence, you choose peace. When you choose silence, you choose wisdom. When you choose silence, you choose yourself. And that is a choice that will always lead you to freedom. One of the hardest things in life is learning to move on. Letting go of people who have been in your life for years. Walking away from relationships, even those that were once meaningful, because you finally realize they are no longer healthy for you. But the strength to move on is one of the most powerful forces you can harness. It is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of growth. Moving on means understanding that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people come into your life for a season, and once that season is over, it's time to let them go. The hardest part isn't leaving them behind, it's accepting that it's time to leave. We often feel guilty about moving on, as though we're abandoning something or someone. But in reality, holding on to what no longer serves you only holds you back. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing your peace. You do not need to defend your decision to move forward. The moment you realize that you have outgrown a person or a situation, you must act. You must take the step, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because staying in something that doesn't align with your purpose, your growth, or your well-being only leads to stagnation. Moving on requires strength. Strength to admit that something is over, strength to let go, and strength to walk away without looking back. You don't need to keep explaining yourself to people who refuse to understand your journey. Your life is yours, and the direction you take should always be aligned with your vision for the future, not with someone else's demands or expectations. When you begin to let go, you free yourself. You free yourself from resentment. You free yourself from confusion. You free yourself from the emotional weight that comes with holding on to something or someone that no longer serves you. And when you free yourself, you open up space for something better to come into your life. Moving on doesn't always mean cutting someone out completely. It can also mean creating boundaries that protect your peace. It can mean reevaluating what you're willing to accept in your relationships and knowing when to step back. But whether you're physically distancing yourself or emotionally detaching, the power lies in your ability to recognize that you are worthy of better. So don't be afraid to move on. Don't fear the unknown. Don't fear the loneliness that sometimes comes with change. And don't fear what people might say. Understand that your growth, your peace, and your happiness matter more than anything. There will be people who question your decision, people who try to guilt trip you, people who tell you that you're making a mistake. But the truth is, the only mistake you can make is staying in a situation that stifles your growth. Remember, leaving does not mean you are abandoning people. It means you are choosing yourself. You are choosing to honor your worth and prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. It is not selfish to leave behind what is no longer serving you. It is necessary for your own personal evolution. So step forward with confidence. Walk away without regret. You have the strength to move on, to create space for new opportunities, new people, and new experiences that will lift you higher. Keep moving forward because the life you are meant to live is waiting for you on the other side of fear, doubt, and hesitation. There is something extraordinary about reclaiming your power. It is the moment when you stop letting others dictate your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. When you realize that you are not a victim to your circumstances, to other people's opinions, or to the past, you unlock a new level of strength. This is when you take full responsibility for your life, your choices, and your happiness. Reclaiming your power means no longer allowing people to manipulate you. It means standing firm in your beliefs and knowing that you do not need approval from anyone else to be who you are. It is about understanding that your worth is not determined by what others think of you or how they treat you. Too often, we give our power away to those who do not value us. We make the mistake of seeking validation from people who do not have our best interests at heart. We explain ourselves to people who will never understand, hoping they will give us the recognition we crave. But in doing so, we allow them to control our sense of self-worth. We let them dictate our emotional state and our self-perception. To reclaim your power, you must first understand that you are worthy of respect, love, and success regardless of how others view you. You do not need to justify your decisions to anyone who doesn't have the capacity to appreciate them. You don't have to explain why you've made changes in your life, why you've outgrown certain people, or why you've chosen a different path. Your choices are yours, and they are valid. When you reclaim your power, you stop engaging in battles that drain you. You stop trying to convince people who will never be convinced. You stop defending yourself against those who are too blinded by their own insecurities to see your truth. Instead, you focus on your own growth and your own peace. You protect your energy and invest it in things that nourish your soul. Reclaiming your power is not just about saying no to others, it's about saying yes to yourself. It's about setting boundaries, prioritizing your well-being, and aligning your life with your values. It's about taking control of your thoughts and emotions instead of allowing them to be controlled by external forces. When you reclaim your power, You stop letting fear dictate your decisions. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure, these are all tools that others use to keep you small. But you are not small. You are powerful beyond measure. And once you realize that, fear loses its grip on you. You no longer care about the opinions of those who don't matter. You no longer fear the unknown because you understand that the unknown is where your growth happens. Reclaiming your power means releasing the need to explain, to justify, or to beg for acceptance. You understand that your value does not need to be proven to anyone. You are enough, just as you are. And once you truly accept that, no one can take your power from you. It is time to step into the person you are meant to be. Stop apologizing for your success, your happiness, and your choices. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into other people's expectations. Reclaim your power, stand tall, and embrace the freedom that comes with owning who you are. Because when you reclaim your power, you create a life that no one can take from you. There is strength in detachment. It may sound counterintuitive, but the ability to detach from people, situations, and outcomes that drain you is one of the most empowering choices you can make. Detachment is not about indifference or coldness. It's about emotional freedom. It's about releasing the hold that others and their actions have over you. When you are constantly attached to the approval, opinions, and reactions of others, you give them power over your emotions. Every word they say, every judgment they pass, every move they make can send you into a spiral of doubt or frustration. But when you learn to detach, you regain control. You stop reacting and you start responding. You stop allowing external forces to dictate how you feel, and instead, you decide how to feel in any given situation. Detachment is about understanding that your happiness is not dependent on other people's perceptions of you. It's about knowing that you are enough, regardless of how others treat you or what they think of your choices. When you detach, you release the need for validation. You stop looking for approval from those who do not value you, and stop explaining yourself to people who have already made up their minds. The people who are truly meant for you will understand your choices, your boundaries, and your peace. They will respect you without needing constant explanations. And when you detach from those who don't, you create space for the right people to enter your life. You free yourself from toxic dynamics that hold you back and prevent you from growing. But detachment is not easy. It requires strength. It requires the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you, even when it's uncomfortable. It requires the wisdom to recognize when something or someone is holding you back. It means having the emotional intelligence to realize that your peace is more important than someone else's drama. When you learn to detach, you stop chasing after people who don't want to be in your life. You stop begging for attention or affection from those who don't value you. You stop wasting your time and energy on people who would never offer the same in return. Instead, you focus on yourself. You focus on your growth, your peace, and your purpose. Detachment is also about letting go of outcomes. So often we try to control every detail of our lives, show others respond to us, how we are perceived, and how things will unfold. But the truth is, control is an illusion. You can't control everything, and trying to do so only leads to frustration. Detachment allows you to trust the process, knowing that everything will unfold as it should. When you detach, you stop attaching your self-worth to the results of your actions. You do not need to justify yourself based on how others react. Whether they support you or criticize you, it does not change your value. You are not defined by their opinions or their judgments. The beauty of detachment lies in its simplicity. It frees you from the burden of constant worry. It allows you to live in the present moment without stressing over the future or dwelling on the past. When you detach, you let go of the need to explain, the need to prove, and the need to justify yourself. And once you've mastered detachment, you will feel a sense of peace and power that cannot be shaken. You will understand that no one has the right to take your peace from you. No one has the right to control your emotions. And no one can ever make you doubt yourself when you've learned the art of detachment. Boundaries are not just lines in the sand. They are the foundation of self-respect and personal growth. Establishing and maintaining boundaries is one of the most powerful ways to protect your energy and ensure your well-being. When you set clear boundaries, you are telling the world, this is what I will accept and this is what I will not. It is a declaration of your worth and your value. Setting boundaries is not about being rigid or unkind. It's about knowing what you need to stay healthy, emotionally and mentally. It's about understanding that your time, your space, and your energy are precious. When you let others walk over your boundaries, you teach them that your needs don't matter. But when you enforce them, you teach others to respect you, and you teach yourself that you are worthy of that respect. The truth is, many people will test your boundaries. They will push against them, challenge them, and try to manipulate you into compromising them. And that's where the real power lies, in your ability to hold firm. When you let someone cross your boundaries, you invite chaos, confusion, and resentment into your life. But when you protect your boundaries, you create an environment where peace, clarity, and respect can thrive. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are about saying yes to yourself. They are about protecting your emotional health, your mental peace, and your time. Boundaries give you the space to focus on your goals and prioritize your well-being without feeling guilty or selfish. They allow you to protect your energy so that you can invest it where it truly matters, in your growth, your happiness, and your future. When you set boundaries, you may face resistance. People who are used to you saying yes to everything may not understand why you are now saying no. They may push back, guilt trip you, or accuse you of being selfish. But setting boundaries is not about pleasing others. It's about respecting yourself. It's about understanding that you are not responsible for other people's reactions or feelings. You are responsible for your own peace. Setting boundaries requires courage. It requires the courage to disappoint others, to say no when everyone else expects you to say yes, and to stand firm in your decisions. But it's this courage that will allow you to live authentically. It's this courage that will keep you aligned with your values, your goals, and your purpose. When you don't set boundaries, you end up spreading yourself too thin. You become exhausted, resentful, and overwhelmed. You give away your time and energy to people who don't appreciate it, leaving yourself with nothing. But when you set boundaries, you reclaim control over your life. You prioritize your needs and make sure that you have the energy to show up as the best version of yourself. Remember, boundaries are not walls, they are bridges. They create a healthy distance between you and the things that drain you, while allowing you to connect with the people and experiences that nourish you. Boundaries help you establish balance in your life, ensuring that you are not giving too much of yourself to people or situations that are not deserving of your time and energy. In the end, boundaries are not just a protection against others, they are a form of self-love. They are a way of showing yourself the respect you deserve. When you set boundaries, you affirm that you are worthy of love, respect, and care. You affirm that your peace is non-negotiable, and you make space for the people and experiences that truly uplift you. So, do not hesitate to set boundaries and do not feel guilty for doing so. You are not only protecting yourself, but you are also honoring the life you are building. Your journey is uniquely yours. No one else has walked the path that you are walking, and no one else can walk it for you. There is immense power in embracing your own journey, regardless of how it may look to others. In a world that constantly compares, competes, and criticizes, choosing to embrace your individual path is an act of profound courage. When you embrace your journey, you let go of the need to follow someone else's script. You stop measuring your success by the milestones set by others and start defining your own success. Your journey does not need to look like anyone else's for it to be valuable. In fact, it is often the path less traveled, the one that goes against the grain, that leads to the most fulfilling destinations. The truth is, not everyone will understand your journey. There will be people who question your decisions, doubt your abilities, or try to tell you that there's a better way to do things. But when you embrace your journey, you stop seeking approval from others. You stop worrying about whether or not people think you're on the right track. You trust yourself, and you trust that the path you are on is the right one for you. Your journey is not a race. It is not about reaching a destination as quickly as possible or comparing yourself to others who seem to be moving faster. It is about the lessons you learn along the way, the growth you experience, and the person you become as you navigate through the highs and lows. Each step, each challenge, and each setback is a part of your unique story. These moments shape who you are and prepare you for the next chapter. When you embrace your journey, you stop chasing someone else's idea of success. You let go of the pressure to fit into society's narrow definition of what you should be. Your success is not defined by the titles you hold, the money you make, or the possessions you collect. True success is defined by the growth, fulfillment, and peace you experience as you walk your own path. It's important to understand that setbacks and struggles are an inevitable part of your journey. They are not signs that you're on the wrong path. They are simply part of the process. Each challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, and each failure is a lesson that moves you closer to the person you are meant to become. When you embrace your journey, you understand that obstacles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. Embracing your journey means giving yourself permission to be where you are right now. It means releasing the need to have everything figured out and trusting that with time, you will find your way. It means not rushing the process, but allowing life to unfold at its own pace. Sometimes it's easy to feel like you are falling behind, especially when you look at others and compare your progress to theirs. But remember, everyone is on their own path. Their journey is not your journey, and their timeline is not your timeline. What may seem like success to them may not bring them the happiness and fulfillment that your journey brings to you. Embracing your journey also means letting go of the fear of the unknown. The future is uncertain, and that uncertainty can be paralyzing. But the truth is, the unknown is where the magic happens. It's where opportunities arise, where growth occurs, and where your true potential is unlocked. When you embrace your journey, you accept the unknown as a part of the process, and you trust that it will lead you to where you need to be. Ultimately, embracing your journey is about trusting yourself. It's about knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. It's about understanding that the path you're on is not a mistake and it's not a random occurrence. You are exactly where you need to be. You are exactly who you need to be. And with each step, you are becoming more aligned with the person you are meant to be. So, trust your journey, honor your path, and embrace every moment of it. In a world that constantly demands noise and attention, there is a quiet power in silence. Silence is not avoided, it is a space for reflection, strength, and clarity. It is in the moments of stillness that you can truly hear your inner voice and connect with your purpose. While the world may be shouting for your attention, it is in silence that you find your true direction. Silence is powerful because it allows you to take control of your thoughts. When you're constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's the opinions of others, the demands of life, or the endless distractions of modern living, it's easy to lose sight of your own thoughts, your own values, and your own desires. Silence, however, brings you back to yourself. It helps you tune out the external chaos and tune into your own inner wisdom. In moments of silence, you are not running from your thoughts or emotions. You are allowing them to arise, process, and pass. You are giving yourself the space to truly understand your feelings, your motivations, and your desires. This kind of awareness is vital for making decisions that are in alignment with your values, rather than being swayed by external pressure or distractions. Silence also gives you the opportunity to observe the world around you without judgment. When you are constantly speaking, reacting, or trying to fill every moment with noise, you miss out on the subtle cues that life is offering. In silence, you can observe the behavior of others, listen to the unspoken messages, and see things for what they truly are. It allows you to detach from the superficial and connect with the deeper truths that are often hidden in plain sight. The power of silence is not just external, it is internal. It is in silence that you can reconnect with your own power, your own strength. When you stop explaining yourself, justifying your choices, or trying to prove your worth to others, you create space for your true self to emerge. You no longer feel the need to seek validation or approval from others. You realize that your value is inherent and it doesn't need to be explained or defended. Silence also protects your energy. When you are constantly explaining, defending, or engaging with those who do not respect you, you drain your mental and emotional reserves. You waste energy on things that do not matter and people who will never understand your worth. But when you choose silence, you reserve your energy for the things that truly deserve it, your goals, your peace, and your growth. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response you can give. When someone tries to provoke you, challenge you, or undermine you, your silence speaks louder than any words could. It shows that you are not affected by their negativity or attempts to manipulate you. It sends the message that you are not going to waste your time or energy on people who do not value you. Your silence becomes a boundary, a way of protecting your peace and prioritizing your well-being. In relationships, silence can also be a sign of strength. It shows that you are not desperate for attention or validation. You are not trying to prove anything to anyone. You are secure in who you are, and you know that your worth does not need to be demonstrated through constant communication. Your presence alone is enough. Furthermore, silence gives you the power to choose your words wisely. When you learn to value silence, you learn the importance of speaking with intention. Your words become more meaningful, more impactful. You no longer waste time on meaningless chatter or engage in conversations that drain you. You learn to speak when necessary and remain silent when your words would only contribute to the noise. The power of silence is also evident in your ability to take action without explanation. When you stop explaining yourself, you open up the possibility of living a life that is true to you without needing others' approval. You do not need to justify your every move, every choice, or every decision. You simply live with purpose and conviction, knowing that you do not owe anyone an explanation for your path. In a world that thrives on noise and distractions, embracing the power of silence can set you apart. It allows you to reclaim your power, protect your peace, and make decisions that are aligned with your true self. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. It is the foundation of inner peace, clarity, and the confidence to move forward without the need to explain yourself to anyone. Now that you understand the power of silence and the importance of embracing your journey, it's time to take action. Your journey, your peace, and your success are in your hands. No one else can walk this path for you, and no one else can make the decisions that are best for your life. It's time to stop waiting for permission, to stop seeking validation, and to start owning your power. Taking action starts with a simple decision. It's a decision to trust yourself. It's a decision to stop explaining your choices to people who do not understand your worth. It's a decision to focus on what matters and let go of the distractions that no longer serve you. The time to act is now. If you want to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and growth, you must commit to taking consistent action. But remember, action doesn't always mean moving at full speed. Sometimes the most powerful action you can take is choosing to stay focused, choosing to stay grounded, and choosing to protect your peace. Action is not just about doing, it's about making choices that move you towards your goals even when you don't have all the answers. One of the most important actions you can take is to stop explaining yourself to those who will never understand. Stop wasting your time on people who don't value your perspective, your choices, or your path. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your decisions. You are allowed to live your life on your own terms, and you are allowed to protect your energy. Another powerful action is to fully embrace your journey. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop measuring your success by someone else's standards, and start defining your own success. Your journey is unique, and every step you take, every lesson you learn, and every challenge you overcome is part of your story. Don't allow anyone else to define your path. Only you can do that. Taking action also means trusting the process. There will be times when things don't go as planned, when obstacles appear, and when doubts arise. But it's in those moments that you must remember, progress is not linear. Sometimes the path may seem unclear, but trust that each step you take is leading you to where you are meant to be. Keep moving forward, keep trusting, keep growing. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to create the life you want, but it all starts with taking responsibility for your choices. Stop waiting for external circumstances to change before you take action. The time to act is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect condition. The only thing you need is a determination to move forward, no matter the circumstances. When you take action, you are also embracing the silence. You stop explaining yourself, and instead, you start living with purpose. Your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. Every decision you make, every step you take, is a reflection of who you are and what you value. Don't let anyone's opinion or judgment sway you from the path you are on. Own your choices. Own your power. So I challenge you today. Take action. Decide that you will no longer explain yourself to those who do not value you. Decide that you will no longer waste your energy on things that do not serve your growth. Choose to embrace your journey, trust the process, and step into your power. You have everything you need to create the life you want. If this message resonates with you, and if you feel ready to step into your power and take action, I encourage you to share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Let them know that they don't have to explain themselves, that they don't need anyone's approval, and that they are capable of living the life they deserve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected and receive more content that empowers and motivates you to embrace your journey and live on your own terms. Together, we can create a community of individuals who are unapologetically themselves and who support each other in living our best lives. Remember, you are in control of your destiny. Take action now and own your power. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness.